Do you know what customers go through to buy a product? Do you consider your business process human-friendly? I've seen companies full of bright people to focus on internal processes and technology. And this is evident when customers interact with their various products, services, and employees. These companies and teams need a change in viewpoint. They need to step into their customers' shoes and understand the forces that shape their preferences and decisions. My name is Zbigniew Gietes. I'm design team lead in Shift4 Payments. This video is about customer journey maps and service blueprinting. Steve Jobs once said, "You've got to start with the customer experience and work back toward the technology." The notion of starting with the experience and working back toward the technology is key part of being human-centered business. You need to understand the way customers approach your product, the touch points, their frustration and the pain points. Customer journey map and service blueprinting gives you a scope to fine-tune your product's experience. We need a little context in order to understand the difference between customer journeys and service blueprints. The stage consists of three perspectives: the front stage, the backstage, and behind the scenes. We can take theater as an example. Front stage is where the action takes place and what the audience can see. Customer journey depicts mostly the front stage and customers behind the scenes. Customers' touch points, actions that occur directly in the view of customer, his experience with the product or service. Backstage are steps and activities that occur behind the scene to support on-stage happenings, the lights, the sets, the crew, all of which should be invisible to the customer. Then there are the behind the scenes, things that the organization must do to make both front and backstage possible. Internal steps and interaction that support the employees in delivering the service. In other words, these are the parts of the service that will be visible or invisible to customer. Customer journey map. The theater begins with the cloakroom. This phrase is attributed to one of the founders of the Moscow-Chekhov Art Theater, Konstantin Stanislavski. It is believed that he wrote in a letter to the cloakroom staff of his theater that our theater differs from many others by the fact that the performance starts the minute members of audience enter the theater. You are the first to greet them. I would add that the whole customer experience starts even earlier, when customers start to plan his evening. The whole journey of choosing the act, buying the ticket, parking the car, hanging his coat, finding his chair, watching the performance and exiting the building, all those things are his customer experience journey. The journey map captures what the user does, thinks and feels, what are they are interacting with over time. It's front stage of the service experience from their point of view. It tells you what they went through, like a story. It comes with a narrative and the heights and lows of users' emotions. Storytelling and visualization are essential aspects of journey mapping, as they are powerful tools for conveying information in a way that is entertaining, intuitive, and that creates a shared vision. So 5 key components of a customer journey map. Goal. You need to define the specific experience that you want to map. What process you want to map. Is it usage of your product, buying, onboarding, anything where mapping will uncover positive and negative moments with the current experience, or to be experience, where the mapper is designing a journey for a product or service that doesn't exist yet. Actor. First, you need to choose the actor of a story. Who is this journey map about? The most common solution to this is to create user personas. Personas are narrative description of user archetypes reflecting common patterns of behaviors, needs, and emotions. They reflect details about a target group in a way that is easy to grasp. I've created a step-by-step guide how you can create user personas. You can find the link in the video description. The third, it's stages, define stages. Your persona should give you a pretty good idea of the process that customer go through from their first landing to an eventual purchase and subsequent interactions. Customer stages consist of goal-oriented user actions. You can visualize it in a multi-step sales funnel. The 5Es framework gives you some ideas for brainstorm of your stages. First is entities, how someone is attracted or made aware. Enter, how does the user begin? Engage, what is the core of the experience? Exit, how does the user complete or finish the experience? And extend, what happens after the experience? Now, the fourth one is touch points, emotions, and thoughts. After you've defined the stages, you should capture what the user is doing, thinking, and feeling during the journey. These data points should be based on qualitative research, such as field studies, contextual inquiry, or diary studies. A touch point refers to any time a customer comes into contact with your brand. This might include moments that happen offline or online, through marketing, in person, and etc. This is basically an interaction with your product or service. This company is not meant to be a granular step-by-step log of every discrete interaction. Rather, it's a narrative of the steps that actor user persona takes during the phase, epic steps that help us to uncover the essence of his journey. It's crucial to capture not only the touch points that user has, but his thoughts, motivations, questions, and emotions. The goal is to have well-rounded sense of how that person feels to be in this experience. Emotions are plotted in a single line across the journey phase, and it shows ups and downs of the experience. Think of this line as a contextual layer of emotion that tells us where user is happy versus frustrated. Then you should capture the opportunities. Opportunities, ownership, and metrics are insight obtained from mapping. They talk about how the user experience can be improved, what needs to be done with this knowledge, who owns what change, where are the biggest opportunities, how we're going to measure improvements we implement. When you have customer journey map in place, you can now plan how to arrange your company process to meet the customer needs. A service blueprint is, in essence, an extension of customer journey map. A customer journey map focuses on what customer encounters when engaging with a service or business, from a specific actions or touch points to pain points. Service blueprints go a few steps deeper and combine customer experience with all employee actions and support processes that may or may not be visible to the customer. The aim of blueprinting is to expose how the company works in the processes of how the things the customer experiences are actually produced. There are 5 main swim lanes that are captured in a service blueprint. Those are customer actions. This is description of what's happening written from the customer perspective. Customer actions are derived from customer journey maps, step, choices, activities, and interaction that customers perform while interacting with a service to reach a particular goal. Front stage. Front stage should capture what happens in each touch point that is visible to the customer. Front stage is where the action happens, actions that occur directly in the view of the customer, interaction with your employee, your app, and etc. Backstage. Backstage captures what happens in each touch point that the customer doesn't see. Steps and actions that take place behind the scenes to facilitate on-stage events. Now, the 4th swim lane is support processes, internal steps, interactions that support employees in the delivery of a service. Clearly, service quality is often impacted by these below-the-line interaction activities. And thus evidences. The last layer of a service blueprint is evidence that is made of props and places that anyone in the blueprint has an interaction with, tangible elements associated with each step that has the potential to influence customer perception of the service encounter. Example, uniforms, delivery ones, and etc. Lines of interaction, visibility, and internal interaction. There are three primary lines. The line of interaction depicts the direct interactions between the customer and the organization. The line of visibility separates all the service activities that are visible to the customer from those that are invisible. Everything front stage visible appears above this line, while everything backstage not visible appears below this line. The line of internal interaction separates contact employees from those who do not directly support interactions with customers or users. Additional elements could be time, estimated duration of each customer action, or you could add emotions, where are employees frustrated, where are employees happy and motivated. Now, final word. Theodore Levitt, the famous Harvard professor, wrote, "An industry begins with the customer and his needs, not with a patent on a raw material or selling skill. The industry develops backwards, first concerning itself with the physical delivery of customer satisfaction." It is important to look at both perspectives, what the person experienced and what went on outside of their view to make it happen. The only way you can build a great customer experience is to build your process around your customer needs and goals. So stop blind guessing and use those two tools to create a really fantastic change for your customer, your company, and anyone involved. Hope this video will be useful. Subscribe to my channel to learn more about user experience and design. Bye.